Ridiculous questions.
Meticulously debated. This is Tell Me I'm Wrong.
Well, I was happy just last night. I've been losing sight, sighting all the falling fights. What is this if this ain't right? Back again, the monster rights. Losing life until that night. Life will never let him lie. Light is mine, my past is right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tell Me I'm Wrong. I am Ryan, and I'll be moderating this Season 2, Year 2 episode. Here we go.
I'm Josh, and I'm going to be a second season debater. Back for another season, signed a new contract.
It's a one-year deal. Don't worry, everybody.
Well,
Hi, I'm Joe.
I wasn't going to say that.
They tried to get rid of me, but no one else would work for the amount of money they pay, so I'm back, unfortunately, as well.
Me and Josh did hold a casting call immediately after he signed his contract.
It was weird when no one showed up.
And, well, there was one dude, but he didn't even speak English. It was kind of weird. He didn't really jive with the show, so
No.
We brought Joe back.
I don't even think he knew that he was there for a podcast audition. I think he just showed up.
Weird, he spoke to me in English, but he said he was just looking for the bus stop.
Oh. Well,
he had his equipment with him was the thing. Like, he recorded. It was like nicer equipment than we have.
But most people have nicer equipment than what we have.
That's a good point. Well, here we are back after our retrospective episode where we answer your questions, talked about ourselves sincerely. A lot of sincerity last week, so we're going to try and really ramp up the sarcasm this week.
zero sincerity.
Not sincere at all.
Not even a bit of sincerity. If you come away from this episode feeling anything other than just
shame,
shame or regret, then we didn't do our job properly, because that is what we are here for.
Okay.
Shame
this
and
is where I'm
regret.
gonna stop both of you. I've waited. I've paused. I just want to thank all the listeners of Tell Me I'm Wrong for the vindication that I've given.
I will say for
in
the
the
first
episode. This is not when you speak. This is when Joe talks and you both listen.
Okay.
In the last episode, we talked about podcasts we wanted to do, and I talked about a podcast I've been doing. And these two Nancys were afraid to do it. Like, I don't know. It may hurt some feelings. It may make people, they may not like it. But we should talk about when cereal mascots like to do weird sexual things, or we should talk about how we should cook and fillet a Pokemon. Those will be okay. They won't hurt anybody's feelings or possibly offend anyone, or Sesame Street characters in weird ways that,
well, at least we can
we
speak.
simp for. That's weird too. We're simping for Muppets controlled by random old men, but
Man,
it's okay.
Joe, how do you really feel?
So,
good grief.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, all our our listeners.
Thank you to our vendors. You know what? We couldn't do this without you. If our
that's true.
snack machine was not stocked, this podcast would go
Wait,
down.
you
If
all
we
get
didn't
snacks?
have people. Yes, Joe. Did you know about
I
the
don't
snack
have any
machine?
snacks.
No, Josh, remember we labeled that for Josh and Ryan.
Oh, that makes
Oh.
sense. So I just
Never mind,
want to
we
say
don't have a snack
thank you.
machine.
This week, I'm announcing it, even though Ryan's moderating it. We are doing the funeral song episode. I also want to point out that I wanted so bad to do this episode, I even conceded and then gave them an alternative debate we could do that was similar to this, but they were so shamed by you all liking that idea that they were like, oh no, we have to do the funeral song episode.
Look, Joe, look. Okay, I'll give you this. You pitched this for a long time, completely ignoring the circumstances of the last year, which we won't even get into. And you pushed and you pushed and you pushed. And finally, you mentioned it on the podcast. And oddly enough, not the only feedback, but the vast majority of the feedback we got from last week's episode was you should do Joe's debate. And so it was a number of people saying that they would enjoy it. Ryan and I conceded.
When I have all these ideas that you all just shoot down, I'm just going to start posting them on social media and not telling
Absolutely
you all.
not. I wanted to come in here and say this is a one-time only. Joe, enjoy this feeling. This will never happen again.
Not a once.
This is celebrating season 2 by conceding a point to Joe is not how I wanted to start, but here we are. So thank you for listener feedback for trying to side with Joe. I mean, I guess 2021, anything can happen. So before we jump into the funeral music, I would like to not harp too much on the actual funeral. And let's, like we said, we're not going to be sincere at all. There's going to be sarcasm. We're going to get silly. This is another late night recording. So really, I just want to ask you guys a question. And how are we going to die?
Like, we know that funerals are sad or are grieving periods, but like, it's also someone where you celebrate someone, and that's all we're trying to do here is celebrate people. Like, it's not actually about funeral. It's about
hold on,
life.
Hold on, Joe.
Stop.
Joe, no, stop this. We said no sincerity. First off, second off,
Cut the sincerity.
Ryan and Josh decided to do this podcast and said we weren't going to apologize for doing it. And here you are apologizing for your
I didn't
topic.
apologize. All I said was the actual death is not what we're talking about.
No, we're not going to couch it. You wanted
couching.
to do it.
You do
All
this.
right, let's do it. Well, let's talk about the time Ryan almost killed me.
It sounds good.
We literally, there's been a few times in life when I was afraid of dying, and that was one of them.
We told this story together recently. We finally have been able to start getting together, and it needs to be on the show. It needs to be in recorded history. So my family has a boat. And several years ago,
boat guy.
Flexing.
Listen, it's
flexing.
not me. It's not me. It is my dad. But I don't even remember how long ago this was. At least 4 years ago. Right?
It was a while. I didn't have a child yet, so it was a while.
No children. So we decided to go on the boat, just us and my sister. I was pulling Joe on the tube. One of those days where we're just hanging out.
There was no adult supervision, and we were on Harrington Lake.
I guess we were adults technically.
I was going to say you all were adults.
It was probably
then.
like immediately post college. So, still that invincible feeling. So Joe is on the tube and I'm driving the boat. The lake that we go to, for those around the Lexington area translator, not Lexington, but it's Lexington area.
This is the Lexington translator. Harrington Lake is somewhere in Kentucky, and I can't tell you where it is.
It's in central Kentucky. It's a entirely man-made lake.
It is in Garrett County. It is actually
Jessamine County, Boyle County, Mercer County. It's in a bunch of counties.
It's very large, but it is also very narrow in a lot of places.
It's not a lake. It's like a bunch of channels that are connected.
And so the area that we were in, there's actually a rock wall on one side and then like a shallow bank on the other. So I am pulling Joe and I'm, cutting back and forth, trying to fling him off, not crazy, but, just the way that you have fun on a tube. And I cut it a little bit closer to the wall than I was planning to, and Mr. Joe Robinson came off of the
I
tube.
rolled off the tube, skipped across the water like a stone. When I came out of the water, I was about 8 feet from a sheer rock face, and I
think it was closer than that.
Real nervous.
It was real close. I remember Leah looked over at me like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, so I was real scared.
That was a scary moment, and it was legitimately one of those times I was like, "Oh, I am glad he's okay," because that would not have been a fun trip to the hospital. So that is one way that I was worried that Joe might die.
I always kind of thought I would die young, but then I made it, so I don't know how I'll die at this point. Like,
are you old?
I guess Joe's no longer young.
Well, I thought I would honestly die about like 27.
You really thought that?
Why?
Yeah, I always just had this feeling growing up that I would die before 27.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know why.
Joe thought he was.
I always did.
Joe thought he was going to be a famous musician that just didn't make it out of the 27 club.
No,
and then once it turned out he had no musical ability, he realized he was going to have to get his life together because he had many more years to go.
Well, that was when he took up power tools. He had to go another direction.
Yeah, woodworkers notoriously have a 73 club where they live long, healthy lives.
I have done a lot of stupid things where I could have. I remember in college once we were hanging out at our house in Richmond, and someone y'all remember cube, like soft drink cube containers. It's like a giant square, and they filled the bottle of it with the fluid you put in like citronella candles, and I didn't know it.
Oh my
Sounds
gosh.
like a good idea.
Lit
Yeah.
the box on fire, but I didn't know it was full of liquid at the bottom, so I kicked the box.
And it was basically
and it became
fireball.
like aerosolized, and fireball shot up my leg inside my shorts, burnt all the hair off of one of my legs up into my thighs. And like I was like patting fire out of my body, and my friend Derek and I think Bo was there too. They look up and they yell, "The bikes!" And they run over and grab the bikes leaning against the railing of the garage and leave me there as I'm literally putting fire out on my legs.
Some good friends.
So I've done a lot of things in life that should have seriously injured me.
I've only ever really had two, and they kind of happened on the same day. I was with a friend visiting some of his family, and we were driving a ATV down a gravel road. And I was driving and he was on the back, and we were like 16, and he was like, go faster, go faster. And so I picked up the speed, and unfortunately I hit a rut in this gravel road, and we both flew off the ATV. I went over the handlebars, skidded across the gravel, was covered in blood. The ATV like went over my head, and I look over and my buddy is laying in a ditch face down, and I thought he was dead. And so I got up and I started yelling at him and yelling at him and yelling at him. And I was like, oh my God, I killed him. And then finally he stood up, just brushed himself off, and was like, that was crazy. Like nothing had happened. So I don't know what he was doing.
Just fulfilling that Kentucky stereotype of dying in an ATV crash.
Yeah. So we cleaned ourselves up because we were covered in blood and cuts, and my pants had ripped, which was maybe the worst part of that. And then we decided to go fishing on a pond. And we were getting in the boat, and he was like, you go first. I was like, no, you go first. And then he was like, you go first. I was like, fine, I'll go first. And we were both, large men. And I go to step on, and for whatever reason, I guess he had a brain fart, and he decided to step on at the exact same time. And we floated out into the pond as the boat was sinking. And then we were out in the middle of this body of water on a capsized boat, which I got a little freaked out, but then realized the pond was not very deep. And so I was able to drag the boat back to safety. But those happened within hours of each other.
Wow. So both of yours, sounds like you had one day where you got really lucky and really unlucky.
Yeah. And then later that night, we went to see a Charlie Daniels, Marshall Tucker band, the Outlaws concert. So
that seems near death.
So is that part of the luck or not luck?
I had a great time. Okay. Don't know which one that lends itself to.
I feel like I'm an interesting case study here because probably more similar to Josh. I'm not a super risk taker, but I also am like, a water sports person and, stuff like that. But I just feel like because of the random things that happen to me, mine is going to be completely unexpected, but not necessarily like me doing something stupid. It's just like something stupid happens to me and then I die. Like a good example
Final
is the
Destination.
Yeah, it's a good example is the story that I told where I almost asphyxiated in church.
Fond memories.
Like it feels like that's really gonna be the thing that happens to me. It's just going to be something really random, like, oh wow, like that's how he died. Like I didn't know you could die from that, or something like that. Like I haven't had any premonitions or anything, but it just seems like that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything risky for me. Almost certainly going to be stress, but we're not being sincere on this podcast, so we'll just keep moving. Probably editing podcasts. That's probably how I'll go out. That's what it feels like sometimes.
While you're on a Peloton.
I have to listen to one more nose noise from either of you two, I'm gonna just kill over. No nose noises. Please stop.
I just picture Josh with a computer on his Peloton, and then that's really.
I haven't tried that one yet, but I'll have to give that a go.
I'm surprised, considering how much you work. I'm surprised you're not like on conference calls while you're Pelotoning.
I try my best. Sorry, I'm dealing with a work thing.
Of course you are. As I was talking about you working all the time, I mean the irony.
I know it's my. Why don't you all take this one? I'll answer this email here real quick, and then we'll
absolutely not. We are a threesome, and we will always be a threesome.
Please don't say that again.
This podcast is a threesome.
No, Ryan.
All right, so I mean it's pretty much decided. We're all gonna die in really stupid ways.
We are all gonna die. Yeah, that's true. It's decided.
You don't know that. So What we really want to talk about with this topic, and as we have mentioned, we're trying to dance around the seriousness and really keep this light.
No sincerity, Ryan. Not even a bit.
You're
no
right.
apologies.
You're right. Screw that.
This is a reckless podcast.
We're so reckless and risk taking. So I want to hear, what is the song that you are going to write down in your will as this song has to be played at my funeral, and here is why. And then I need to hear it first. Let me just get a first impression. I do not know these songs beforehand, so this is a fresh reveal. Starting with
we don't know any songs, so this should be interesting.
Starting with Josh Ballard.
All right, so funeral music. We were tasked with coming up with the song we could play at our funeral that would be out of place and inappropriate, but would still be fitting. And so I thought long and hard about this because funeral music is something I have some pretty hard opinions about. Now, there always seems to be a specific subset of songs that people play at their funerals. It's like Holes in the Floor of Heaven, that old country song. There's holes in the floor of heaven, and you're watching down on me, or some shit like that. People love that one. Go Rest High by Vince Gill, which isn't even about your death. It's I won't even get into that. That's a whole different rant. And so I wanted something that would really speak to me as a person and would give people a good time. Because the one thing that I want is I don't want people to be sad at my funeral. I want them to be vibing. I want them to be enjoying themselves. And so there's only one genre of music that I think you can have a good cry to, because I'm so loved that people will be upset, that you can have a good cry to while also having some vibes going, and that is R&B. A nice, sad R&B song really gets the funeral party going, really fits the vibe.
I'm trying to get there with you, but the R&B songs I'm picturing, I don't know.
I like R&B, but I'm still waiting to hear what you're going to say.
It's a stretch. So here's my thing.
Before you say it, what decade is it from?
It is from the 2000s.
That's a strike. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, why don't you just sit back and listen to me talk about this? So here's the thing. For my funeral, I don't want to be put in a casket. That is a waste of money. Agreed. That is a waste of space. That is a waste of land. I want to be cremated.
I actually feel the same way. Joe, are you in the box?
I'd burn me. Don't waste that money. Yeah. Just burn me.
And if they have a service where you can launch my ashes into the sky on a rocket, do it.
Elon's like 3 months away from launching that specific thing, rocket urn.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
He was only 2 months away, and then he had to go embarrass himself on SNL, and, he lost some time. So here's what I wanted to do. To fit that vibe of my funeral while also capturing the person I am, and the seriousness of this event in everybody's lives of me departing this earth, is Burn by Usher.
I like that song. I'm trying to picture it at
good.
I'm trying to picture it at a funeral right now.
Is this during the cremation?
Because it's about a breakup. So
I don't know of any funeral homes that do live cremations.
I think they should.
That is a good question. We said we'll just play this at a funeral, and all three of us just admitted we just want to get cremated. So there won't be a funeral.
You still have funerals for cremated people.
You still have a wake.
Oh, what is it called? A celebration of life.
A wake, yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a funeral. I don't think funeral anywhere does it mean that you have to have a whole body there.
But I think you should have the people there watching as the song, Gotta Let It Burn.
Exactly. So that is my pick, Burn by Usher.
That's good.
So good.
That's good.
All right, Joe. The pressure's on.
So I know on the podcast last week I mentioned that I would want to do Chumbawamba's Tub Thumping. I get knocked down, I get back up again. But I thought that was I wanted to come up with something new since I already said it.
That one would really be good if you were in a zombie movie.
Well, I just figured because I fall down and get hurt a lot, it really fit. So
you do that.
I texted the guys. I came up with 6 songs today, and there was a lot of good ones. I'm kind of hard-headed, so Can't Tell Me Nothing by Kanye West was the first one that came to mind. It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube, which I think would be just extremely ironic to play as I'm laying there dead. A song about being a good day. I Got a Feeling That Tonight's Going to Be a Good Night by Black Eyed Peas. I thought would be a really good one.
That really got me going on the text was Black Eyed Peas.
Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins was almost a winner.
Why?
I mean, I really liked Top Gun when I was a kid, and just if I died doing something really stupid, then played a song about being in the danger zone, I thought would be hilarious.
I can't figure out what Joe's criteria was when he was deciding whether
There
this would
was
be a good
none.
song.
That's the thing,
He
is there
just
was none.
Just going with the vibe.
I wanted to just be like, so my family is like, a lot of them are very religious and like, you know, like don't drink, don't dance, all that, no music. So I wanted to just be as an awkward experience as possible for everyone, because I think that is just hilarious. Mm-hmm. So the song that I ultimately decided to go with was All Star by Smash Mouth.
Why?
Logical reason.
I mean, I do have some logical reasons. It makes sense. And
Joe's
I will
logical reason is that he pulled out his iPod Shuffle from back in the day, and the first song that came up, he
sounds
picked.
like that was how you were making your decisions. You were just like shuffle, 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 shuffle.
Joe was having his funeral between the second and third inning at a minor league baseball game, because that's the only place where that song was being played.
Listen, I have some stories to tell you later about this song that is gonna just give you a newfound appreciation for it. But I chose All Star by Smash Mouth, and I will back it up.
So we have
I look forward to that.
Smash Mouth and Usher sending you off both into the great beyond. Now, man, you'd think I would have some questions, but I am just awestruck at the fact that you have both chosen such directions to go. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to. I need some time to digest All Star, so I'm gonna come back to Josh. What was the original reason that you chose? Like, you know, how did you land on R&B? Like tell me the thought process.
So in my mind, if we're going to have a good funeral song, like I said, you need something that's going to really allow people to have a good cry, vibe out to, you know, just really like get in their feels about how much they loved me and how important I was in their life. And so to me, I needed something that was really going to make you feel something. Every time I hear Burn by Usher, I feel something deep down inside. Now,
I just think about, you know, being in high school, and I was like,
yeah,
let it burn.
I just think about that awesome banger of an album. The whole thing was good.
Exactly.
For Gen Zers, Usher is the person who founded Justin Bieber.
That album had the song "Yeah" on it. Yeah. You know, Little
they
John
may not even know that
and
song.
Ludacris. Oh, they know that song.
Now, the other song that's on that album that would have been really interesting to play at your funeral is Confessions Part 2.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work. I cheated on you, had a kid with another woman. That may that your future wife may kill you, bring you back to life, and then kill you again because of that song.
Yeah. So I went with Burn, and so this song was huge back in the day.
Usher is the true triple threat. You know,
yeah.
He was
Usher had
massive.
Yeah come out. It was a massive hit. Still played at, weddings, maybe a funeral, parties, everything. It is.
Can we just think
ubiquitous.
about because you just put the image in my head of the Ludacris rap in happening while someone is laying in front of me in a casket and
it's not great.
Then over to the knees and touch the flow.
What does he say? You got 25,000 on your pinky or something like that in that song.
Yeah.
Like talking about his pinky ring.
When my pinky's valued over 300,000.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's drink you the one to please. Ludacris fills cups like double D's.
Thank you, Ryan.
I know the whole rap if you want me to go for it.
So Usher followed up that hit. I'd love if someone could just cut out Ryan doing that rap and replace Ludacris's version on a recorded version of the song. Please do that.
Left the jag and I took the rolls. If they ain't cutting it, I put them on foot patrol. Ow, how you like me now? With my pinky valued over 300,000. Let's drink you the one to please. Ludacris fills cups like double D's. Me and Ursh once more will believe them dead. Want a lady in the street, what a freak in the bed. There you go.
And then
he
the
told
beat drops
Usher he was
again.
going to change his name to Ursh. Or if he just did and Usher was like,
Well, and then you also have Lil Jon in there.
It just goes, yeah.
So Gen Z, who doesn't listen to this show, there was a guy who his whole bit was just yelling, yeah, and what?
Lil Jon was DJ Khaled saying another one before that existed.
Yeah,
Blessings.
exactly.
Blessings.
So Usher followed up, yeah, with Burn, which also went number 1 in the U.S., was a big
can
song.
We talk about more of a transition of song types from Yeah, which was like the dance anthem of the 2000s, to Burn.
Let it burn.
Which is a
You gotta
breakup
follow
song.
it up. You gotta follow it up with a ballad. So anyway, so I settled on this one because I looked through lists of like worst songs to play at funerals. They were all stereotypical. I looked at, different lists of like sad songs. Nothing vibed with me. But then for whatever reason, it just popped in my head. Burn by Usher. And I went back and I listened to it. And I was like, this probably won't work because it's going to be purely a breakup song. But when I got to the lyrics, and we'll get into this here shortly, I'm certain.
Post Mod Office, we will do some lyrical debating.
When it got to the lyrics, I realized, no, you know what? This is the perfect song for a funeral. And I'll explain it when we get there. But I just, it was divine inspiration. That's all I can say.
I mean, it sounds like that was a moment of true inspiration, which is so rare on this show. So
yeah, especially for me.
Yeah. So Joe, tell me about.
All right, All Star was on the album Astro Lounge. This is their second album released.
That was the first album I ever bought.
I think their first album was the second album I ever bought. It's like,
you want to know the first album I ever bought? Are you ready for this?
What?
Yeah.
Casting Crowns.
Ryan!
What if his people prayed?
Yep, that was the album.
Far as the east is from the west.
We got to tell on ourselves every now and then.
Christian translator here.
Yeah, there we go.
Casting Crowns was a band popular among the church youths and adults. The rare crossover. Man. And they had a big, like, hey, we're all youth pastors, but we play instruments vibe that really clicked with everybody.
Praise You in the Storm was a big one.
That's
Praise
the one.
You in the Storm.
I'll praise you in this storm.
And this has been the Tell Me I'm Wrong worship hour. Now back to the debate.
This song has transcended many different types of media. It appeared in the movie Mystery Men, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. I got some strong thoughts.
Will we? I don't even know what that movie is.
It has actually William H. Macy, Ben Stiller. It has a cast, Janine Garofalo. What is it? Is it
Garofalo?
It's got a cast that should be good. Dane Cook's in it. It's awful.
Dane Cook?
Yep. It's also in Shrek.
Yeah.
And now it's heavily used in memes.
Well,
I bet it is. Yeah.
The song was written by the guitarist, and he wrote this song after he read some fan mail. Many of the fans asked him to write many of the fans who listen to Smash Mouth believed them to be Outkast and identified strongly with the band because they seemed like Outkast, and they asked him to write an anthem for Outkast, and this is the song that he wrote.
None of that makes any sense.
Now, I also read a story that is about, this song actually is about climate change.
Wait, okay, we need to talk about that one.
Yeah,
about climate change. It's a cool place, and they say it gets colder.
You're bundled up now. Wait till you get older.
Ice we skate's getting pretty thin. Water's getting warm, so you might as well swim. World's on fire.
How about y'all?
Yeah, there is a lot about like actual climate, and I was like, well, maybe.
Okay.
So there's all that. Now, Mystery Men. Every year, my dad and I would go camping with two of his friends. Two of his buddies and their sons. And we called it all men camping all the time. We went for 1 week during the summer. We'd go to like random camping grounds all over Kentucky, Tennessee, whatever. One year we went, and every one afternoon we would always go see a movie. That was where I saw my first rated R movie, Scary Movie 2. The first rated R movie I actually saw was Air Force One, but I only saw the last like 30 minutes of it because we went and saw Good Burger first, but it was so much shorter than Air Force One. They let us come in and see the rest of it. The next year I got to see Scary Movie 2. But this year we went and saw Mystery Men. I remember my dad walking out and literally saying, I think that was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. And I have to agree with him. But the cast should be great.
Joe is right. This cast is insane. Greg Kinnear, Ben Stiller, Jeffrey Rush,
William H. Macy,
Kel Mitchell, Eddie Izzard.
Janine Garofalo, Dane Cook. Like it should be good. It's awful. But they are all like made up superheroes. Like there's like Wrench Man and all that. And a lot of these characters are in the music video, and they're looking for new recruits to join their team of crime fighters. And they try to recruit they say no to the lead singer of Smash Mouth, Steve Harwell. And you see him going around doing all these crazy things. Like he goes in a fire and gets out a dog in a house fire. He lifts a school bus up and saves kids, but they're like saying no. And anyways, so I went and saw some of this camping trip with my dad. Worst movie ever. But I will say that this is the song that I think I remember all the lyrics to first most in my life. And there's pretty much, sure. I don't know anybody that's our age that doesn't know the lyrics to Smash Mouth. All of the lyrics. It's crazy. It's so like catchy and iconic. It was nominated for Best Pop Album at the 42nd Grammys. Best Pop Performance. Yeah. I forget who said it won. But
it's iconic.
It is. It's very iconic. So I said I had some stories. I have to tell you this. So I read this on the Wikipedia page, and y'all can go look it up. On June 14th, 2015, Smash Mouth was performing this song at Taste of Fort Collins event in Fort Collins, Colorado.
I bet they were.
It went, is it Ari, A-W-R-Y? Ari? Awry. After members... It went awry after members
much
of the
like this podcast.
All right, you got to let me read this. It went awry after members of the audience started throwing loaves of bread onto the stage. While the rest of the band repeated the opening riff to All-Star, Harwell, the lead singer, began a 3-minute profanity-filled verbal tirade against the crowd, with him threatening to beat up anyone who threw things on the stage. Security eventually restrained Harwell after he tried to enter the crowd. The band only continued playing while the crowd sang the song in place for him.
Why were they throwing bread?
Smash Mouth performed the song later in 2016, where Harwell passed out in the middle of the set and was taken to a nearby hospital, but the band continued their set and performed the song without him as the crowd sang it.
So they have performed this live twice without the lead singer?
Yes! Once because he tried to fight the entire crowd of people, and once because he literally passed out in the middle of the performance.
Honestly, those two things are not that surprising.
No.
Like, I feel like that tracks with, just
Smash
the band
Mouth.
in general. Yeah.
But so I just think it would be so awkward sitting in this crowd at my funeral when all of a sudden whoever's leading it's like, now in his will, Joseph asked us to play a song that he feels like exemplifies his life. And all of a sudden it's like, bing, 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 bing. And everyone would just be like looking around, and I feel like I would be in heaven just cackling, laughing, watching as my mom is sitting there like with her head in her hands, and everyone's sitting there listening. They just have to sit there in this empty room in this funeral home and listen to this entire song. So I think to me, it's about Outkast. I'm kind of a dork. Like I openly admit it. Like I was never like a cool kid. So I identify with Smash Mouth. Then the morning comes. I'm a believer. All great songs.
All right. Well, let's take a little bit of a break. I need to think of some more questions while we ponder the lyrics of these songs. We'll come back and we'll try to wrap this up. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. I want to encourage everybody to share the show with your friends. We are now in season 2 officially. We're not really calling it that. It's our second year. So we have a nice big back catalog of episodes that you can share with people. So surely you can find one that is you feel is applicable to one of your friends. We feel like we hit a pretty big range of topics. So I feel like there's one out there that you can recommend to a friend. You can follow us on all of the social medias, TMIW Pod. And we are also always looking for any partnerships that you are willing to extend our way. So if you're looking to partner with us for some advertisement, or if you're looking to sell a product or promote your new business, reach out to us, tmiwpod@gmail.com. And we would be glad to partner with you. So we're going to head back and figure out the rest of this debate, and we'll see you later. Okay, so Joe has told me during the break that he has a story that he needs to bring
Ryan,
up.
I thought you were just talking during the break doing an advertisement.
This is a fictional break that sometimes people will reference during the show when they talk about things that are not recorded. I don't know if you've been in a podcast before.
I have not. I didn't realize. I thought it was all just done in one big long. Wow, this is really blowing my mind.
So I decided this morning I was going to do All Stars by Smash Mouth, and then I was at work looking at yahoo.com, and sure enough, there's an article about Smash Mouth, and the title of the article is Smash Mouth just came at Travis Barker and I'm not okay. So I clicked on it.
Is Yahoo BuzzFeed now?
I was going to say, that sounds like a Yahoo.
Smash Mouth just came for Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian on Twitter and I'm not okay. So from the official band account, Smash Mouth tweeted, not used to Travis barking have a full-time publicist, the Kardashians, trying to keep him in the 24-hour news cycle. Glad you got Kourtney a lavish gift for Mother's Day, LOL. It's just so weird to me that Smash Mouth would call out a band member from Blink-182 in 2021.
I mean, what do you expect them to be doing? Making music?
I mean, I'm sure they're playing music. I'm ready for them at the Oktoberfest here in a few years.
That honestly seems not that surprising to me. And you know what? If I was Smash Mouth, I'd probably be doing the same thing. You got to go after those other 2000s bands.
There's a feud or beef between Blink-182 because Travis Barker made some comments about Smash Mouth because they did a full capacity concert during the pandemic.
Oh, good.
Which is also not surprising. So
sounds like some winners.
There's gonna be some feuding going on. I'm ready for it. That fight breaks out. I wouldn't mess with Travis Barker, but I don't believe Tom DeLonge would do well in a fight.
All right, so we need to talk about some lyrics, and so the funerals that I've been to, sometimes they'll even have lyrics printed out. So maybe there's a specific section of your song that you'd like to print out in stanzas, like a poem. So I want you to pick, the most important, the most impactful part of your song and tell me what you're going to print on, that the paper with the cloud backgrounds with the, embossed lettering. It's going to, have you in a vignette photo, give me the full image of how this is going to play out. Josh, you go first.
So I think to me, the most impactful part of this song and the part that I want to make sure is imprinted on everybody's hearts as they leave, as well as a variety of posters and flower arrangements placed around the funeral home is from the chorus. And it says, when your feeling ain't the same and your body don't want to, because obviously my body had given up at this point. But gotta let it go. Because the party ain't jumping like it used to.
Without you there.
Even though this might bruise you because me, departing this earth for my heavenly home or my,
dastardly home.
Sandy cheeks bubble in hell, wherever I end up getting to go. Is going to really hurt people, but they need to learn to let me go. And so then we continue with the most important part that says, let it burn, gotta let it burn. And I just think that everybody's going to really feel that because you know what? After Josh is gone, the party ain't jumping like it used to. Things just aren't the same. This really does bruise me, but you know what? We've got to let him go. We got to let his eternal spirit leave this earth, and we just got to let his body burn. Let it burn. Gotta let it burn.
I want to say that's beautiful, but I'm not. I don't know that I can. So we'll just go with okay. Thank you.
Sure. Visionary.
I know, right? All right. So let's go back to our lovely Smash Mouth band. What specific part of the song really speaks to the Joe character?
A couple things in here that I think lines up with me. The first line is, somebody once told me the world is going to roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. First off, I'm a big tool user, guys. I like to build stuff with my hands, but I wouldn't say that I'm like, I'm not great. I'm not very smart, so I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. That's okay. I'm a cool guy. I'm an outcast, but I'm cool with it. Well, the years stop coming, and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules, and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. I think that what they're saying is you can't see the forest through the trees there. You pick up knowledge, but you lack common sense.
I think you're giving Smash Mouth a lot of credit there.
And I feel like that's something sometimes I don't see the forest through the trees. I don't see the big picture. I only look at big picture, but I tend to not be able to focus on what is happening right in front of me. And the last thing was the ice we skate. It's getting pretty thin. The water's getting warm, so you might as well swim. My world's on fire. How about yours? That's the way I like it, and I'll never get bored. Well, I was just cremated, so my world is on fire. And you are sitting there in this funeral home listening to this song. I want to know about how your world's going. And we're doing it the way I like it, and I'll never get bored because this was my request, so you have to sit here and just enjoy it. So... those are the ones that stuck out to me. Will it be incredibly awkward in this to hear Smash Mouth singing? Yes. I'll probably try to write in my will that you have to watch the music video, so it's even more cringeworthy. So you're just sitting here watching this video.
They roll out the TV cart.
Yes. Yeah, basically. But the video is so bad, I want it to be on like a big CRT TV from the a big tube
it can't
TV.
Be on an LCD screen. Yeah.
So, I think this is probably what I'm going to play at my funeral, and my wife's going to hate it. My parents are going to hate it. And that means I will love it even more.
Okay. So something else just came to me as Joe was, describing the scene there. So I know we've been talking a lot about this, kind of taking place in a funeral home. And, that's not as common with cremation, which we've all mentioned, might be the way that we choose to go. So if let's say you are, you decide to not go the funeral home route. You want to have your ashes sprinkled. And while this song is playing, where are they going to be? They have a boombox. It's 2050 and they have a boombox. They have a speaker and they're playing this song. Where are they? Where is it that you are picturing this song playing and your ashes being scattered? I can't even say it with a straight face.
Man, I don't know. Are you asking where I would want my ashes scattered, or where I think it would be appropriate to go where this song is playing?
Oh, no, none of this is appropriate. So let's just throw that out the window. But either one of you, this is just something I thought, just something I'm picturing.
All right, I got it.
Okay, let's go.
I would want this song to be played at Kroger Field as they sprinkle my ashes in the end zone. Because that's the only way that I'm going to be able to score and be an all-star is when I'm dead and they literally sprinkle my ashes into the end zone of the football field. So I want them to play this song over the overhead speakers like I just scored a touchdown for the Wildcats at Kroger Field at Commonwealth Stadium as they sprinkle my ashes into the turf.
You've got the tight end spiking the ball right into your ashes as they bounce up.
Yeah, I want them to Gronk Spike My Urn to where it just basically explodes and then covers the end zone in my ash.
I'm writing down Gronk Spike My Urn
as this song is being played. So, but I would require it still to be played at the funeral and Kroger Field.
Oh, okay. Of course.
So they have to listen to it twice. People will be humming this on the way home.
All right, Josh, we just got a beautiful vignette given to us by Mr. Robinson.
Now, for me, I think I feel much the same way, is that I think it needs to be played in a funeral home as part of a celebration of life. But I do also
100%.
I do also want it to be played.
The second playing is really like for the family and for the final goodbye.
Yeah. So, you got the general event. We're playing the song and the chorus really hits home to people. But then I think later in the day, as they scatter my ashes, I think the bridge is really going to speak to them on the song, which says, okay, I'm twisted because one side of me is telling me that I need to move on. That's me saying, I know that I need to move on to this afterlife. But on the other side, I want to break down and cry. Ooh. And so that's really going to hit home to them. And so as they hit that bridge, as they start singing about that, and as we get to the so many days, so many hours, I'm still burning till you return, they're going to scatter my ashes over the only place that I think it is fitting to play a song from Usher's Confessions album, which is the place I spent a lot of time at in junior high as a young music fan. And that is at the location of the nearest former Circuit City.
So
I just think, yeah. I think the one closest to me is now like a Bed Bath and Beyond. So I don't know if they'd be down with that, but I think wherever the former Circuit City is nearest me at the time of my death, is where my ashes should be scattered while Burn plays.
Why?
Just because I think I spent a ton of time there in junior high. Circuit City was my place for some reason. I wasn't a Best Buy kid. I was a hipster. I went to Circuit City.
I actually did too.
I bought a lot of CDs there, and the last one I ever bought was Katy Perry's first album. It was on clearance as they were closing the store because nobody went there anymore. And,
was this the one that was by the Raffertys?
Yes, by Lexington Translator here. Rafferty's is a local chain within the area that has delicious croissants.
Oh my gosh, honey croissants.
A delicious hot bacon honey mustard dressing, which is exactly what it sounds like. A cup of hot bacon grease with honey mustard in it. And just a variety of delicious
potato soup.
Loaded potato soup. Some of the best potato soup.
I did not expect us to get to Rafferty's tonight. Yeah. But Rafferty's would also be a great place to spread your ashes.
It would. You know what? Spread half my ashes at the Rafferty's and then walk over to the Circuit City and do the rest.
Well, if you spread it in the parking lot, the wind will just naturally carry it over to the Rafferty's.
Yeah, both of which are now closed, so you can just spread it in that parking lot.
Yeah, I think it's like I don't know. There's like a Jason's Deli there and a problematic coffee shop. Just dump me there.
Problematic coffee shop. Okay, well, you guys knocked that out of the park. So I'm really glad that I asked that question. Do you have any final points, or are you ready for me to make my decision?
I think you just got to let it burn, Ryan. Let it burn on your soul.
Okay, I mean, I'm ready unless you have another point.
No, I think I'm good.
In the words of Usher, but you know that it's over. No, it's over. We knew it was through. Let it burn. Ryan, make your decision. We know it's over.
All right. Well, you guys really, I feel like I'm proud of us. We navigated this well. Joe, was a good topic. We were wrong. Once again, I just wanted to make sure you got your full vindication. Now, enough sincerity. This was one of our more ridiculous debates. I appreciate the fact that you both steered into the skid and just really embraced the ridiculous side of our show. And that is really how I made my decision this time, was the ridiculousness. Which one really felt like it was going to just kind of lighten the mood and really match the personality of the person that chose this song. It really brought me back, to when I would listen to this song and, with some friends. It kind of gives off that vibe of the funny side of the person that chose this song. And that is why I had to go with Josh Ballard with Usher and Burn. The main reason, the way it lined up with just Burn, cremation, the whole Circuit City bit was really good. But honestly, I just could not get behind Smash Mouth at All Star.
That's the point. It's supposed to be awkward and just terrible.
Know, and you really, honestly, I respect it, but I just could not. Sitting in the room listening to that song with the urn in front of me. It was so uncomfortable that I couldn't get on board with you.
That was what I was going for.
Well, I appreciate your consideration. I'm glad that I am back on the winning side of things. And I'm slowly making my comeback here in season 2. We are almost halfway through this year, so I better get a move on if I want to end 2021 in contention, because currently I am nearly eliminated from the playoffs. So I appreciate you giving me the
second half of this year might just be me and Joe debating.
Yeah. It might get to the point that I'm not even factored in if I can't start winning. So this is a good first step.
You're really not that far behind.
He just needs to win a few in a row.
Yeah, I just need to get on a roll here, and this is a good start.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. I was pausing there because I'm so used to Josh having to defend himself. So that's
this is how bad it's gotten, is that when I win and I don't argue, it throws off the entire back end of the show.
That's how
Ryan doesn't even know how to get to the outro, because usually it's just him going, okay, we've had enough of that, and then going into his whole bit about the theme song and all that stuff. he can't do that this time.
I'm
because
used to having
I'm
to,
the winner.
I'm used to having to butt in and make sure we can end the show. But
I'm sorry for ruining your vibe. I'm just going to keep talking so you can cut me off and feel like it's more normal because
I almost
just want
expected you to say I'm sorry for party rocking because that also would have been a really good song.
I'm continuing to talk because I want you to get the feeling that you need to cut me off.
LMFAO song.
Joe, I'm not stopping.
Been a fantastic.
Nobody is listening to me.
I'm about to mute
I'm just
Josh, and I muted him.
I was really debating on doing an LMF. Sorry for party rocking.
That would have been fantastic. I actually physically muted Josh because he's still recording. And he edits the show, so he could ultimately just, edit me out. But currently I control the Zoom call. So that's what we're doing. I want to thank everybody for listening. We are going to wrap this up. I also want to thank Isle of 8 for the use of their theme song, Jean Jacket. It is a banger of a theme song, and you should definitely check it out and maybe play it at your next funeral.
It would be a banger. It would. I would like to also ask you to go ahead right now while you're listening to this and head on over to Spotify, iTunes, whatever you're listening on. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars, rate and review us, give us a positive review, let us know how much you like it. And then find us on social media. You can reach us at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anything like that. I think we have a TikTok, and reach out to on there. Let us know. Send us a music video of what your funeral song would be, and let Ryan know why All Star would have been the penultimate song to play at a funeral.
And while you're online, head over to tmiwpod.com, and over there you can listen to episodes of the show. You can find out stuff about us. You can buy merch. There's all sorts of great stuff over there. So head over there. And also while you're over there, you can listen to a new mashup we created of All-Star and Burn Together. It is the perfect funeral song. We got it available on vinyl, cassette, 8-track. Whatever you need, we've got it for you. So head over there, purchase that right now, and get your funeral on.
We're working on getting it on hit clips as well. Thank
those
you,
are
everybody.
hard to come by, shockingly enough.
I think that's going to do it for us. As always, there is one winner, but we're all losers. Later, losers.
See ya.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed at all. She was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of a nail on her forehead.